Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We are so glad you are here, whether you're in the building or anywhere in the world. I'm Mike Zanta, one of your co-moderators on the board. If you are an in-person visitor, we'll hope you'll sign our guest book. If you're online, please visit our webpage, westhartforduu.org, to learn more or to use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list. Our electronic communications are the best way for us to stay connected with all of you, whether you're here or anywhere else. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. While we keep moving toward the end of the pandemic, we're going to keep adapting to the moment. We have live streaming available for everyone for whatever reason you choose. On site, we're following the mask mandate of our town, specifically inviting vaccinated folks into the sanctuary and having our kids and their teachers meet in Fisk Hall until things improve and vaccinations are available for kids too. We continue to have our musicians sing our hymns for us. We hope for good news about congregational singing in the near future, but until then, I will ask those of you in the building to listen and participate silently until we hear that singing together is okay. Thank you for your graciousness as we learn another new way to be together. After worship, we'll gather for fellowship outdoors on the front patio or in our Zoom fellowship room online. One quick announcement, please look at the news in the order of service regarding how you can be part of our work with the Greater Hartford Interfaith Action Alliance. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email, and settle in for worship.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, no, I won't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me whenever you're in trouble. Won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by me.
Welcome, friends, to this beautiful day. We come to sing, to listen, to connect, and to renew ourselves. We renew each other in spirit, in love, and in fellowship. It's a time to remember the values of trust and cooperation, and to celebrate those with whom we join our lives and our efforts. Welcome, friends, family, visitors, to this time of renewal, this time of strengthening for the week ahead. The table where we are fed, the feast we share with many. Welcome, friends, and let us worship together. If you have a chalice at home, join me as I walk over here to light the chalice this morning. Please feel free to light your chalice as I attempt to light this one without lighting myself or the chancel on fire. Let's see here. There it is. Gotta know where your tools are. And I love that y'all are giggling with me this morning. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I got smoke, so something's going on. There we go. Flame. I hope you at home had a little easier time with your chalice than I had with this one. And at any rate, we're going to keep on moving, because that's what we do. We keep right on moving. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 346 in the gray hymnal. And here in the building, we will join with our hearts, maybe our voices a little bit softer, as we sing our opening hymn along with our vocalist, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me.
Come share a rose with me.
Thank you so much. Please, everyone, be seated, be comfortable. Please join me in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant, as printed in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So it's time for our time for all ages, and whether you are young in years or young in spirit, I welcome you this morning. Today, we're going to talk about partners and partnership and the many different ways that we can create and experience partners in our lives. From the Kittle Encyclopedia at kids.kittle.co/partnership, I have a definition that I've altered just a little to closely fit with my sermon today. A partnership is when two or more people work together to complete a task. That can be a job like mowing the lawn, pulling weeds from a garden, or shoveling snow during the winter. Those people are partners. Partners don't have to be adults, however. Young people can partner with other students in completing school projects, or they can partner with their families to cook a holiday meal or decorate the house. That one I'm looking forward to. Partners can share a business together to help make money with and for each other. If one business partner makes money, both partners share the profit after all the bills are paid. A partner can be an individual, one additional person, or it can be a group of people, like members of a church. Recently, members of the Caring Committee from the Unitarian Society of Hartford partnered to help clean out the house of a congregant, and the Universalist Church of West Hartford, all of you good people, partnered with them to distribute non-perishable food items from the home. Partnerships can be temporary, like dancing partners, two people who dance together for contests or shows, or partners at card games such as spades or bid whist, in which partners work together to win the game against the other partners, their opponents. A partner may also be somebody who lives with another person, like a husband or wife. They are marriage partners. Life partners who decide to live together but are not necessarily married, or very good friends who share their lives with the other person. I know of some very good friends who cohabitate. They are partners in housing, who live in California where housing is extremely expensive. And by pooling their resources, they're able to afford to live in a much nicer and larger place than they might be able to afford alone. The word partner in this sense is used a lot in modern times because it does not discriminate between married and unmarried couples. So who are your partners in life? Who do you enjoy spending time with and helping perform activities, participate in sports, or even chores around the house? Who are you ready to help accomplish their goals? These people can be your partners in a live your life sense instead of a business sense. You can also have educational partners, other students in classes that you work with or study with, who help you solve problems and learn more. Your partners can become friends, but they don't have to be. There are many different types of partnerships, and you can have many of them, if you're fortunate, throughout your life. May you always find partners to help you accomplish your goals, and may you always be a good partner who is willing to share what they know and what they know how to do to help others. I'd like to invite Peter Kennedy forward with our pledge testimony today.
Good morning, everybody. And I'm Peter Kennedy, and I'm here to talk about my experiences with the organization called Hawkwing. And it all really started here about 9 years ago. I wasn't a member of the church at that point in time, but I did accompany my wife, Denise, to several of the services. And I was sitting in the pew one morning when we came, and they had a little paragraph from this organization called Hawkwing, and they were recruiting people with a medical background to serve on their medical team going out to the reservation. My background is a respiratory therapist, and I'd been doing a lot of asthma education and working with patients about their medications and the disease and their equipment. So I called Rochelle Ripley and had quite a lengthy conversation with her. Seemed to work out because she invited me to the next visit out to the reservation that they were making in that coming June. So come June, I found myself on a plane to Rapid City, South Dakota. And in the forefront of my mind at that point in time was, well, how are they going to react to this kind of middle-aged white guy from Connecticut in terms of how open would they be, how trusting. Didn't need to worry because Hawkwing really had been out there for 10 years and they had established a good rapport with the people. So I was a part of the medical team, and we went around to various hamlets on the reservation, and we had health fairs. So people would come up and I would talk about asthma and the medications and help them with learning how to use the equipment that they had, be it an inhaler or nebulizer, that kind of thing. And then after about 4 years, the healthcare team, the focus changed from that kind of health fair to more mental health. At that point in time, I had no background in mental health, so I joined the construction team because I could hammer a nail and saw and paint. So I got involved at that point, not so much with meeting people at a healthcare setting, but we'd go in and we'd do rehabbing of people's houses. And again, we were out there for about a week. Some people were out there for a little bit longer than that. But we'd go in and we had electricians, we had plumbers, so we would update people's electrical circuits. We would put in new sheetrock when it was deteriorating, do roofing. But we were also involved in a variety of other activities, one of which was establishing a food bank. And I know for this congregation, the children, the youth groups have put together the soup packets. And that was part of what we distributed to the food pantry, and they, in turn, distributed it to the population of tribal members. And that was pretty much run on a daily basis, and still is, by the Veteran Association out on the reservation. So we did that. Through contributions from people such as you, we were able to buy several hundred beds, and we distributed them to many of the elders. So that was part of it. We put up a greenhouse that would raise vegetables year-round. We rehabbed a youth center. Again, there was a high incidence of at least attempted suicides on the reservation among the young, and they really had nothing to do. So we rehabbed the youth center and updated it and provided all sorts of equipment and activities. And as part of that, the following year, we have established a chicken coop. So actually one of the members of Hawkwing built it in her garage over the winter and kind of took it apart in pieces, so it was a prefab, put it out into the reservation and put that up. And I would like to say that, all of you that have contributed have made these things possible. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, just personally, but also from Hawkwing, thank you very much for that. Also the knitting group here at the church, I know, has contributed many items, and those have gone out to the Tribal Health Council, and they have distributed to people in need, which is wonderful. Right now, what Hawkwing and what we're involved in is setting up a free store for people on the reservation, as well as trying to improve the quality of the water that the tribal members are drinking with faucet filters, that kind of thing. The thing that I have found very important is that we work with the tribal council. We don't go out with an agenda. They give us the agenda of what they need to be done, and then we work towards that. And that's worked out really, really well. And we'll be working on rehabbing a house with the owner of the house. They'll be up on the roof helping to, put the new roof on, that kind of activities. But there were a couple of instances in my experience that have made a big impact on me. Not only do we do a lot of work, but we also get an opportunity to do more socializing with people on the reservation. And this was several years after I had started, but we were having supper, kind of a potluck supper at the local high school with a group of people, and I sat down next to this gentleman who happened to be the director of the community center. So we got talking and eating and talking, and he mentioned that recently he had lost his wife, or not his wife, but his mother. And a couple of years prior to that, I had lost my father, so we started to talk about that, how even as an adult, the loss of a parent has a big impact on you. And I came away from that discussion, and I kept thinking about, okay, here is this man from South Dakota, a member of the Sioux tribe. Here I am from Connecticut, very different backgrounds, very different upbringings, and yet we still had so much in common. And one of the philosophical concepts that Hawkwing kind of has adopted is what they call Matakwe Asi, which is we're all related. And this interaction that I had with this gentleman just made me really realize just how close everybody really is. And it was kind of a refreshing reminder to me of going out and helping other people is extremely important because they are us, we are them. The other story that has stayed with me was when we were putting up the chicken coop. Here's this chicken coop that, chicken coop isn't all that exciting. But we were there and we had to level the ground and get some patio bricks laid out to put the chicken coop on. So this other gentleman and I from Hawkwing were sitting there or kneeling there in the dirt, leveling it off and making sure everything was good and level. And we're putting these bricks down, and this little kid, 6 or 7 years old, came over. He's watching us, and he said, "Can I help?" So we weren't using any tools that he could hurt himself with, so we said, okay. So he helped us put on these bricks, and we were leveling them, so we had a level, and he said, "Well, what's that?" So we told him what a level was, and we showed him how to use it, and so he was okay with that. So we put in a few more bricks, and then we were putting in another brick, and he said, "Well, that's not level." It's like, okay, we hadn't even used the level on it yet, and he's saying, "That's not level." So we measured it, and he was right. So we leveled it off, and we put on a few more, and then he says, "It's not level again." So we got to the point where we didn't even use a level, we just used him. He just said, "Okay, that's not level, that's good, okay." So we were doing that for about 3 or 4 days, and then kind of at the end of the week when we were wrapping up everything, I was just on site, making sure we weren't leaving any tools around. And the little boy was there, and we got to talking, and I said, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "We're picking up because we're going to be going, back to Rapid City to catch our plane tomorrow morning." And this little kid who had known me for 3 days, kneeling in the dirt, just came up to me and wrapped his arms around my waist and gave me a big hug. I was pretty much speechless. I gave him a hug back, and then I said, "I'll be back next year." And I was. And for the year after that, I was. And I've seen him, and we've talked, and I'll keep going back pretty much as best I can for as long as I can. It's very rewarding. Thank you.
Beyond the pledges that support this congregation, The weekly offerings also a spiritual practice for this group of people, for us individuals. Together, this is our right and our responsibility, our privilege and our obligation to support this place, this religious home, where we may transform ourselves and each other with love and generosity and the learning that comes from our gathered wisdom. As part of this practice of generosity, we share our general offering each week with organizations that are in harmony with our values, who do the work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating beloved community. This month, we'll be sharing the offering with the Sheff Movement Coalition. The goal of the Sheff Movement Coalition is to compel the state of Connecticut to provide high-quality, integrated educational opportunities to Hartford's marginalized school children as mandated by the Connecticut Supreme Court's Sheff versus O'Neill decision, which seeks to eliminate the racial inequities between the educational opportunities provided to students in Hartford and those of students in the surrounding school districts. The Sheff Movement Coalition serves 10,000 children in Sheff's more than 40 magnet schools and open choice suburban schools. Our offering to support the community that holds us and helps us live out our deepest values will now be joyfully received. Ushers, please come forward, and may this morning's offering be given and received with hope and gratitude. May these gifts that you have given from your hearts and your spirit sustain the work we do together, the life of this community and the lives of those whose need is greater than we know. Thank you for your generosity. At this time, I'd like to invite you to please rise in body or spirit as we speak our responsive reading, number 540, entitled, The Peace of Autumn. Today, the peace of autumn pervades the world. spreading over the deserted fields to all horizons its wings of golden green. The many distant villages bask in the sun with eyes closed in idle and languid slumber. In every speck of dust, in every part of my own body, in the visible and invisible worlds. Please join in the Doxology in your hearts. Please be seated, be comfortable. As we begin our time of prayer and reflection, let us open our hearts to the concerns of people within this community and those beyond. Prayers for Sophie for improvement with chronic pain and mental health. For her late father, who would have turned 62 this past week. For Judy, Sophie's grandma, for well-being and friendship in her new senior living community. And for Colin, for peace and comfort in the midst of struggles. Continue your time of prayer and reflection and include those people in your life who have brought you smiles and joy this week. Recall those good feelings and the love you have for them and share with them. Please join in song in your hearts as we listen to Spirit of Life.
Our first reading is a poem entitled Our Journey, written by Clive Blake. We embark on a new journey. Let our travels never end. Keep us heading in the same direction, though the track may sometimes bend. Let happiness be our destination. Let our trademark be a smile. Let us enjoy every footstep, not begrudge a single mile. Let us revel in new discoveries, greet each fresh dawn with pleasure. Let us find our inner wealth and know the true meaning of treasure. Our second reading is a poem entitled We need cooperation in a team as a partner, written by Chang Kun Hu. We need cooperation in a team as a partner. Please do not think about whether it's fair or unfair. Absolute fair doesn't exist at all. We need to bunch together. The attitude determines your feeling. If you don't care, you would feel more comfortable or happier than those who care. No matter where you are working in a team, no matter whether you do more or less, I swear that the attitude of you or your partner will make things happen. Either a pair or a group, those who don't care about whether the other people do more or less will share their happiness or success. Furthermore, they will create a magnificent affair that brings more and more, greater and greater achievement than you will declare if you always walk alone.
As the bell choir is getting into position, I'll just quickly say, if the bells seem shinier than normal, we just got them back from being refurbished by a professional handbell refurbisher, something that's required every 10 to 15 years, depending on usage, and we were severely overdue for some refurbishment. And we'd like to thank the congregation for their support, because it was not inexpensive to get them sent all the way out to Colorado, worked on for several weeks, and then shipped back. So thank you very much for your commitment to this instrument. It really means a lot to us in particular, and I hope to the congregation at large, that they are back in 100% working order and bright and shiny and ready to go for the next 10 to 15 years.
Thank you so much to the very talented people in the bell choir. That music is just so lovely, and I thank you for sharing your talents with us this morning. So good morning again, everyone. For those of you I have not met yet, my name is Dianne Daniels, and I'm happy to be back here with you at Fern Street. And I want to bring you the subject this morning of partners and partnership. I'm very fortunate to have had some truly great partners throughout my life. Now, some of you are already raising your eyebrows and thinking, Dianne, where are you going with this? Let me reassure you, I'm talking about partners not only in the sense of life partners or spouses, though those partnerships are extremely important. I'm not talking strictly about business partners, though those partners can make or break your finances and your dreams of a solid, sustainable income from a business or a career that you love. What I want to talk with you today is about a combination of different types of partnerships. It's possible, though not necessarily easy, to find a partner that can fulfill several different roles in your life. You've heard the expression Jack or Jill of trades, master or mistress of none. I'm guessing some of you have heard that. It means that you can't be everything at once. It's really hard to be a business genius, a pro-level athlete, someone who can serve as a confidant and counselor, and a spiritual anchor in tough times. Any one of those roles individually is hard enough to accomplish, but try and find all of those roles and levels of expertise in one perfectly imperfect human being. That's pretty darn close to impossible. A partner is someone who does or shares something with another person. You can have a dancing partner that swings you around the floor and makes you feel the rhythm of the music as you swirl gracefully around the room. Or they make your feet dance as you speed around the floor to the pace of a faster song. When you've got a good partner, even complicated dance moves can feel effortless. Remember that word, effortless. A good business partner is often someone who has a different level of expertise in a specific area than you do. If you are the creative brains of a business, coming up with innovative solutions to solve client problems and create the best outcome, like an architect who can figure out how to get 3 expansive bedrooms and beautiful functional bathrooms inside the walls of an older home that hasn't been updated since the 1900s. That person is a valuable addition to a business, but no more valuable than the person who knows what suppliers to contact so everything moves seamlessly and your timetable isn't negatively affected by late material shipments or materials that just don't show up at all. Exhibiting brains in a different area of the business, yes, but equally, if not more important than the creative genius that makes those dreams a physical reality, at least on paper. Then you have emotional partners. The individuals you can turn to when life seems to just want to pound on you one more time. Even after you've already been pounded on and you're finding it hard to stand up. The ones that can hold you close, heal your scratches and scrapes, make your sore muscles feel more limber and flexible, and that help you ease your way down onto a chair or a bed when all you want to do is fall. They help you come down more easily from the stress and challenges of your day. Sometimes these people are so good at what they do, it's communicated through their very touch. They don't have to say a word. They don't have to make a sound. It just happens. And when it does, oh my goodness, how wonderful is that feeling. partners of all kinds, rare and special and valuable. I'm blessed to have a wonderful partner in my life who fulfills a lot of these roles, along with a few more I don't have time to describe in detail today, because otherwise I'd be here all day. He's my husband, Al. On a recent trip back to Detroit to visit family, I needed my partner so much. More than I thought I'd need him, more than the usual need. I am a needy person. That might sound like an unusual admission to make, or even a negative one. And I used to pride myself on not needing anyone. Why? Because someone I trusted, my first husband, Ron, had betrayed my trust. I chose the wrong partner. I loved him, yes, and I loved the family we started together, our son Ronald, who bears his first name. But it became obvious that we were not on the same page. He didn't feel the way that I did about our family. He loved our son, yes, without question. I think at one point he even loved me. After all, he did ask me to marry him. And for a while, we were happy. But that didn't stop him from doing things that eroded my trust in him and broke our partnership, like disappearing for days at a time with no contact. We didn't see eye to eye on our finances, on work, on career paths, seemingly on any of the important subjects that a partnered couple needs to see eye to eye on. If he were here, he might say that we didn't agree on the direction for our future, on the goals we wanted to accomplish, or what road we should travel on the way to our goals. He didn't have the vision that would allow him to see how we could turn my family's large single-family home into a two-family home that would accommodate us and our young son. He couldn't see how leveraging our sweat equity and existing ownership would save us from financial strain in trying to move and find our own place starting from scratch. A lack of trust, a drastic difference in financial sense, and an inability to reconcile our differences in vision caused the death of that marriage. I tried for 2 years to improve our communication and find the common ground that we so desperately needed, but I couldn't do it on my own. Without the commitment from both of us to accept one another and to search for the truth in our relationship, it was doomed to fail. By contrast, my current partnership, my marriage with my husband Al, is a lot smoother. Not perfect, don't get me wrong here, but smoother, because after all, I'm still involved and I'm definitely not perfect. We agree more than we disagree, and more importantly, we agree on how we're going to reach our partnership goals. We believed and acted upon our belief in each other's inherent worth and dignity. Disagreements were invitations to discussion, not arguments that caused hurt feelings and damaged self-esteem. We lived within our means, both of us, by mutual agreement. There was a respect for each other's experiences and opinions that wasn't present before. We both had learned hard lessons. We are each other's second marriages, and we were willing to share these lessons and apply them and discuss them and reconcile them. We worked together. Partners are people who do or share things with each other. And we wove the qualities of justice and equity into our relationship. We each had input. There was no discounting one person's opinion over another. We had equal footing in the relationship, and we accepted and encouraged each other toward growth in multiple areas. Not always the same area, but with a consistent theme of working to get better. Not perfect, but better. We shared the vision and the goal that purchasing a home that might need some work adding a whole bunch of sweat equity and leveraging the hours and materials into increased value was our path forward. We took a home that cost us less than $50,000 and leveraged our sweat equity and a lot of hours into an investment that is now worth nearly 6 times what we put into it. We learned to accept each other's expertise. There were projects that we completed that had many more hours and effort put in by my husband because he had the knowledge and experience. The Navy gives you a good training ground for that. And projects that we completed that had many more of my hours and effort in them because I had that knowledge and experience. I shared a love with my mother of old houses, and we both kind of had more than a little bit of a crush on Bob Vila from This Old House. And we watched those episodes endlessly. They always seem to add another zero to the budget that we thought needed, but we learned a lot. And we learned, my husband and I, how to honor each other's worth and dignity and honestly value each other's efforts. We learned not only acceptance, but respect for each other. Respect for our own interdependent web that ran between the two of us. Without one of us, our projects would not move forward at the same speed or at the same level. With both of us working harmoniously and sometimes working through our disagreements, we were a lot stronger and could progress much faster than if we were working at cross purposes. Partners, those people in our lives who help us leverage our existing assets, our knowledge and experience, our desire to push forward, to do and be better. They are the ones that help us build things up, not tear things down. It's our partners who push us, support us, encourage us, help us see what's possible, and help us push our boundaries in good ways. Sometimes it takes someone who sees us differently than we see ourselves to help us tap into our strengths, develop new capacities, and new possibilities. Without my beloved husband, I would not be standing before you today because he was the one that pushed me to study for the ministry. We used to have a joke running between the two of us. We would travel for business and people would come to us and say, are you two ministers? And by the way, where's your church? It became a joke between the two of us, which one of us was going to seminary first. And because of his encouragement and a little bit of stubbornness on both our parts, it wound up being me. When you find someone who does that for you, whether they are a friend, a family member, or a spouse, hang on to them. Do the same for them. Support each other. Be each other's partner in striving for a better life. You can have partners in multiple areas. Many a person has achieved their fitness goals with the help of a workout partner. Many people have learned new languages, new processes, and much more information with the help of a study partner. You can have a partner in any area of your life that you choose to. The major requirement is that they want to help you get better. In 2011, rapper and entertainer Fabulous released a song that celebrates the power of a positive partner in a relationship entitled Make Me Better. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. I'm good all by myself, but you make me better. Find the person or persons that make you better and don't let them go. Use the boost from that relationship to power you forward. And don't forget to return the motivation, the inspiration, and the energy. Choose the right partner. Be a good partner. May it ever be so. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Our closing hymn this morning is number 1021, entitled Lean on Me. Let's bring our beautiful vocalist back to grace us with another song.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Please rise if you'd like to, willing in body and spirit, for our benediction. Engage the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Please be seated, be comfortable for our postlude, Westminster Chimes by Douglas Wagner, performed by the Universalist Bell Choir.
But yeah, I mean, after next week, we're pretty much here full-time.
Good.
We are moving.
How are you? Okay, great.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
No, Choir, do you mind if I skip out on clean up to take my wife out for lunch and thank you for it this morning?
Yeah.
I was Mr. here for 20 years. I've heard a lot of nice things about you. And I want to get to know you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Rejoin the congregation?
We're back. We're here. So maybe sometime we can do